All right, ready to unlock some serious ancient secrets?
I'm ready.
Today, we're diving deep into, you guessed it, Egyptian pyramids.
Oh, exciting.
But trust me, we're going way beyond just, tombs and mummies this time.
Okay, so beyond the basics. Gotcha.
We're talking architectural genius, mind-blowing logistics.
I love logistics.
Oh, you're going to love this thing.
Okay.
Maybe even a little dash of royal ambition in there, too.
Oh.
Just for flavor.
Yeah, the ego of the pharaohs.
Oh, always. Always a little bit of ego.
Always.
Okay, to really kick things off, let's rewind the clock a bit.
Okay.
To a time before those iconic pyramids were even a thing.
All right.
I'm talking about mastabas. Have you heard of these?
Yeah. I've heard of mastabas.
Okay, so they were basically they were like these bench-shaped mounds, kind of dotting the desert landscape,
Right.
marking the final resting places of like early Egyptian royalty.
But don't picture just piles of sand, right?
No.
These mastabas were pretty sophisticated,
Yeah.
often built with mud brick and housing underground chambers.
Already pretty impressive for their time.
For sure.
But then, boom, enter Imhotep,
The OG.
this revolutionary architect, right?
Yeah.
Serving King Djoser. And he's like, scrap the mastaba. We're going vertical.
He was a true visionary. Imhotep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, instead of just one mastaba, he's like, let's stack 6. Each one smaller than the last, right?
Okay.
Creating the step pyramid at Saqqara. And this wasn't just a tomb.
Right.
This was a statement.
It's like, look at me.
Yeah,
There.
exactly. It had rooms, it had passages, reflecting, those growing complexities of Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife.
So Imhotep, he kind of set the stage.
Yeah.
But there was Snefru,
Oh, yes, Snefru.
founder of the Fourth Dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
who seemed, I don't know, obsessed
A little bit.
with perfecting the pyramid game.
You think?
This guy wasn't just building tombs, he was building his legacy.
That's a key insight right there.
I know.
Snefru's pyramids, with all their trials and errors, show us a pharaoh grappling with the limits of engineering.
But also maybe a little bit of ego, too.
Maybe, just a tad.
Okay, spill the tea. What kind of trials and errors are we talking about here?
So, you familiar with the bent pyramid?
Okay, I have always been intrigued by the bent pyramid.
Right.
It looks like someone changed their mind, like mid-construction.
Yeah, like, wait a minute.
What happened there?
So the bent pyramid, it's not just some ancient architectural oopsie.
Okay.
It starts with a steep angle, right?
Yeah.
Over 51 degrees.
Wow.
Then suddenly, bam, shifts to a shallower 43 degrees.
Oh, that is a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some think this change, it might actually reveal a growing understanding of material stress, gravity, those sorts of things.
So instead of being like a blunder, this is actually evidence that the Egyptians were pushing their knowledge,
I think so.
learning on the fly,
Totally.
and adapting their designs
Yeah.
to create something truly monumental.
They had to be resourceful, innovative. Remember, no modern tools.
Right.
No calculations.
Oh, wow.
Each pyramid was an experiment,
Yeah.
a step closer to perfection.
Okay, but what about Snefru's other pyramid at Deshur?
You mean the Red Pyramid?
The Red Pyramid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of squat compared to like some of the later ones.
The Red Pyramid, it was his final masterpiece. And with this one, he finally achieved that smooth-sided form we picture when we think classic pyramid.
Yes.
Its angle, just over 43 degrees. And you can almost see Snefru, breathing a sigh of relief.
Finally nailed it.
Exactly. His experiments paved the way for the most iconic pyramid of them all.
Oh, I know it's coming.
The Great Pyramid of Giza, built by his son Khufu,
Ah, yes.
the big kahuna.
The one that makes your jaw drop.
Yes.
And it is huge.
It's huge.
Something like 13 acres, which is like,
Oh, help me out here.
Hmm.
What is 13 acres in, normal people terms?
Picture 10 football fields side by side. Okay, I can picture that.
That's the footprint of the Great Pyramid.
Wow.
And it originally soared over 481 feet high.
Wow.
Although today it's a bit shorter because of erosion.
Makes sense.
And don't forget those colossal stone blocks averaging, over 2 tons each.
I am trying so hard to wrap my head around the logistics of moving something that heavy.
I know.
Even with modern equipment, it's like, whoa.
It's a question that has puzzled experts for centuries.
Right.
I mean, how did they do it?
Yeah.
Some theories involve massive ramps, sledges, rollers,
Okay.
even ingenious systems for, lubricating the ground. to reduce friction.
Right.
We actually even have tomb paintings
Oh, really?
depicting the movement of colossal statues using some of these techniques.
So like a giant slip and slide.
It does seem like something out of a movie, doesn't it?
It totally does.
And the craziest part is, once the pyramid was complete, they meticulously dismantled the ramps.
So they just erased the evidence of their construction process.
It's like a giant puzzle, meticulously assembled, and then bam, the instruction manual just vanishes.
And we're still trying to figure it out.
Exactly. And, speaking of puzzles, the Great Pyramid wasn't alone at Giza.
Oh, right.
Khufu's son, Khafre, he built the second pyramid there.
Yep.
And then Menkaure, Khafre's successor, built the third.
Making it a family affair.
Kind of.
And, of course, we can't forget about the Sphinx.
Of course not.
That enigmatic guardian just silently watching over this ancient complex.
Yeah, the Sphinx definitely adds to the mystique of Giza.
Totally.
This feeling that we're only just scratching the surface of a much deeper story.
Oh, for sure. And what's even more fascinating is that these weren't just, solitary tombs. We're talking entire complexes.
Complexes, yeah.
Like a whole city of the dead.
Right.
What else did they find around these pyramids?
Well, think temples,
Okay.
chapels, even remnants of, get this, funerary boats.
Wait, funerary boats? What? Like they buried boats with them.
Not buried, but
But like part of the whole...
yeah, as part of the complex.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Can you imagine, like, a royal procession
Okay.
sailing down the Nile?
Yeah.
The pharaoh's final journey toward his eternal resting place?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
The scale of it all.
The scale of it all.
It's just incredible.
And then you have those mysterious inscriptions
Oh, yeah.
found on the walls of some pyramids.
The pyramid texts.
The pyramid texts.
Yeah.
They're not quite cheat codes for the afterlife,
Darn.
but they do give us, they give us a peek into Egyptian religious beliefs and their ideas about the afterlife.
So, like, we're reading a firsthand account of their cosmology.
Yeah.
Their hopes, their fears, all that.
It's fascinating.
That's amazing. So we're talking about more than just, like, bricks and mortar here.
Oh, way more.
These pyramids were vessels of belief, expressions of power, and, oh my gosh, testaments to human ingenuity. They really are. And that brings us to one of the biggest mysteries of them all. How do they actually build these things?
Right.
With the tools they had back then, I mean, it seems almost impossible.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of construction here. What kind of tools are we talking about? Were they like swinging giant hammers?
Not quite giant hammers,
Okay.
but you're not far off in terms of the effort involved.
Okay.
So their primary tools,
Yeah?
copper chisels, drills, saws.
Okay.
Pretty basic,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, that was kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, these were effective for softer stones like limestone.
Okay.
But when it came to the hard granite used in some chambers,
Yeah.
imagine trying to cut through granite with copper tools.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, they likely employed pounding techniques, maybe even using dolerite balls to slowly chip away at the stone.
Talk about a long-term project.
Right, and to think they did all this without modern technology.
Joe Crane's no power tools.
No.
It's just incredible.
It really is. But then how did they shape those massive blocks with such accuracy?
Right.
I mean, we're talking laser-like precision here.
Yeah.
So there's evidence they may have used abrasive powders,
Okay.
like sand,
Okay.
combined with their copper tools to cut through the granite.
Oh, okay.
And their knowledge of astronomy, it was crucial for aligning the pyramids with the cardinal points.
So they were stargazing architects.
Pretty much.
That's so cool.
And there's even a theory that they used, water-filled trenches.
Oh, really?
To help level the ground for construction.
Okay.
Picture it, right?
Yeah.
A vast construction site shimmering with water as workers meticulously prepare the foundation for these monumental structures.
That is a really cool image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they had the tools.
Yep.
The knowledge, the manpower.
Mm-hmm.
But who were these people?
Yeah, who were that?
Who toiled under the desert sun to build these wonders?
Right.
Were they slaves? Forced into labor?
I mean, that's a question.
Or is there more to the story?
That sparked a lot of debate. The traditional view is that the pyramids were built by, armies of slaves. But recent research suggests a more nuanced picture.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So we know the stone for the Giza pyramids mainly came from the Giza plateau itself.
Okay.
But other materials, like the limestone casing,
Yeah.
that was transported from Tura across the Nile.
Wow.
And the granite traveled all the way from Aswan.
Oh my gosh. So this wasn't just like a local project. No, it was a nationwide endeavor.
Nationwide.
Talk about a logistical nightmare.
Right. And what's really interesting is that we're starting to find more and more evidence of skilled laborers
Oh, really?
who were paid for their services.
Yeah, wow.
There are quarry worker markings on some of the blocks with names of work gangs like Craftsman Gang.
So these weren't just like faceless workers. They were
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah, they're individuals with skills, pride in their work, and maybe even a sense of belonging to something much bigger than themselves.
It kind of humanizes the whole endeavor, doesn't it?
It really does.
Okay, so we've got skilled laborers.
Okay.
Could be some paid workers, a dash of national pride.
Yeah.
But how many people are we actually talking about here?
So Herodotus, the Greek historian, he claimed his Egyptian guides told him it took 100,000 men
Really?
working for 3 months a year for 20 years to build the Great Pyramid.
Okay, that is a lot of people.
It's a whole city's worth of manpower.
Yeah. But is that number even realistic?
Well, modern estimates tend to be a little smaller,
Okay.
suggesting a workforce in the, tens of thousands.
Still a significant number,
Still significant.
but maybe a bit more manageable.
Maybe.
It makes you wonder about the organizational skills required to manage such a massive project, though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we're talking ancient project managers, right? Coordinating labor, resources, logistics, on a scale that would challenge even, like, modern construction firms.
It's a testament to the centralized power of the Egyptian state and their ability to mobilize resources, manpower on a grand scale.
So they had the workforce, the materials, the knowledge, the willpower.
Mm-hmm.
But why did this era of pyramid building eventually come to an end? Did they just, like, run out of stones?
Oh, as impressive as they were, the pyramids had one major flaw.
Oh.
They were big, shiny beacons screaming, "Treasure inside!"
Oh, the pesky grave robbers.
We got it.
No matter how grand the tomb, someone's always going to try to break in and loot it.
Exactly. And so the pharaohs, they realized they needed a more discreet approach,
Okay.
one that wouldn't attract so much unwanted attention.
Right.
And that led to a major shift in burial practices.
So instead of those monumental pyramids reaching for the heavens, they opted for something a little more down to earth.
Exactly. They started favoring rock-cut tombs hidden within cliffs.
Sneaky.
Less ostentatious, but much more secure.
Less grandeur,
Yeah,
but more peace of mind in the afterlife, I guess.
you could say that.
So while those grand pyramids failed to safeguard, like, the pharaoh's physical remains,
Yeah,
their legacy continues to live on,
it does.
inspiring us to unravel their secrets and marvel at the incredible achievements of this ancient civilization.
And speaking of secrets and achievements, we've only just scratched the surface of this fascinating topic.
Welcome back, pyramid enthusiasts. Last time we left off with those pharaohs, realizing that maybe those giant, blinged-out pyramids weren't the best way to keep out those grave robbers.
Yeah, bigger isn't always better.
Not when it comes to hiding treasure, I guess.
But, even though those tombs went undercover, those pyramids themselves, they continued to fascinate.
Oh, for sure. And that's what we're going to dig into today. Like, what did these pyramids really symbolize
Yeah.
to the ancient Egyptians? Were they just elaborate tombs, or was there something deeper going on?
Well, on one level, they were definitely tombs, right? They were meant to house the pharaoh's remains, help them transition, smoothly into the afterlife.
Yep. Okay. But the story goes way beyond that.
Okay, I am ready. Spill the secrets. What deeper meaning did they hold?
Well, the shape itself is key. That pyramid form, it represented the primordial mound.
Oh, okay.
That rose from the chaotic waters
Huh.
at the very beginning of creation, according to their beliefs, of course.
So it's like a physical representation of their creation myth.
Precisely. Imagine the desert sands as that primordial sea,
Okay.
and the pyramid emerging from it, symbolizing order conquering chaos, life triumphing over death.
It's a powerful image.
It is the powerful image.
Totally. And those sloping sides all converging towards like a point at the top.
Yes.
What's the significance there?
That point, it's aimed directly at the heavens,
Ooh.
symbolizing the pharaoh's ascent to the realm of the gods. Think of it as a giant stairway to the stars, a physical manifestation of the pharaoh's, divine journey.
So the pyramid was basically a bridge between the earthly realm and the celestial realm, with the pharaoh acting as a go-between for humanity and the divine. Yeah, pretty heady stuff.
Pretty heady stuff. But speaking of celestial, let's talk about those astronomical alignments.
Ooh, yes.
Is it true that the pyramids were actually aligned with certain stars?
The ancient Egyptians, they were obsessed with the stars,
Yeah.
their movements, their cycles, it all tied into their understanding of the universe and their place within it.
Yeah.
And they definitely incorporated those astronomical observations into their architecture.
Okay, so give me an example. Like, how does that play out in the pyramids?
Well, take the Great Pyramid, for example.
Okay.
Its four sides, they align almost perfectly with the cardinal points: north, south, east, west.
That's incredibly precise. Did
Mhm.
they have like some ancient compass or something that we don't know about?
It's a mystery. It still has researchers debating to this day.
Really?
Some believe they used the stars, specifically the circumpolar stars, those that seem to rotate around a fixed point in the sky.
Okay.
So by observing these stars, they could pinpoint true north with remarkable accuracy.
Wow, so by understanding the night sky, they could literally align their monuments with the cosmos.
Exactly.
That is next level architectural skill.
Uh,
But there are also theories about like specific star alignments, right?
Yes.
Something about Orion's belt.
You're on the right track. One theory suggests that the three pyramids at Giza, they intentionally align with the three stars in Orion's belt. You know, those three bright stars that make a distinct line.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely seen those. But why Orion's belt? Like, what's the connection?
So the Egyptians, they associated Orion with Osiris, the god of the underworld and rebirth.
Oh, okay.
So aligning the pyramids with Orion's belt could symbolize the pharaoh's own journey through death and into the afterlife.
So the pyramids weren't just aligned with like the cardinal directions. They were also mirroring specific constellations.
Yeah.
That held deep religious significance for them. It's like they were building a microcosm of their entire belief system.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? And it adds, another layer of complexity to these already mind-blowing structures.
For sure. But as much as we've learned, there are still those enduring mysteries that keep, like, archaeologists and historians up at night.
Oh, yeah.
You mean, like, how did they move those massive stones? I know we touched on it before,
Yes.
but it still boggles my mind.
It's the sheer size of those blocks, the precision with which they were cut and fitted together. It defies easy explanation, even with, our modern understanding of engineering.
I've heard, like, all sorts of theories
Oh, yeah.
about ramps and levers and rollers.
Yeah.
Even, like, some out there ideas about sound waves or alien intervention.
There's no shortage of theories, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But none of them fully explain, the logistics involved. It's really a testament to the ancient Egyptians' ingenuity and a reminder that we're still piecing together their story.
And then there are those hidden chambers. I read that, recent scans have revealed, like, previously unknown voids inside the Great Pyramid.
Yeah.
What could they be hiding?
Ooh, those voids have the whole archaeology world buzzing, that's for sure. They could be hidden burial chambers,
Sure.
secret passages,
Oh.
or even just structural features, who knows? But until we can, get in there and take a look around their purpose, it remains a tantalizing mystery.
It's like the pyramids are playing a giant game of hide and seek with us,
They are.
refusing to reveal all their secrets at once.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got ancient astronomical knowledge, hidden chambers, and construction techniques that still baffle us today.
Yes.
But there's another theory out there, and it sounds like something straight out of, like, science fiction.
Oh, you mean the idea that the pyramids were actually ancient power plants?
That's the one. As crazy as it sounds, some people, they genuinely believe that those pyramids were designed to, like, harness some unknown energy source.
It's definitely a fringe theory, and there's no solid scientific evidence to back it up.
Right.
But it taps into that sense of wonder and mystery that surrounds the pyramids.
Totally.
I mean, they were built by a civilization so different from our own, with knowledge and technologies that we may never fully comprehend.
It's like looking through, like, a blurry window into a lost world
Yeah.
where the line between, like, science and magic gets a little fuzzy.
Exactly.
All right, so that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive into the world of Egyptian pyramids.
Wow, part 2 already.
I know, right?
Time flies.
We've explored their symbolism, their astronomical alignments, and those enduring mysteries that continue to baffle and inspire us. Welcome back, fellow pyramid explorers. We've journeyed through time, From those early mastabas to those awe-inspiring pyramids of Giza,
It's been quite the ride.
uncovering architectural secrets, pondering those cosmic connections.
Yeah, we've seen how pharaohs tried to, outsmart those grave robbers,
Right.
and how the pyramids themselves reflected a complex cosmology,
Hmm.
and of course, how their construction still baffles us today.
Oh, for sure. It's been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up our deep dive, I think it's important to remember the human element behind these colossal structures.
You're absolutely right. It's easy to get, kind of lost in the sheer scale and grandeur and forget that these monuments were built by real people.
Yeah. Tens of thousands of them.
Tens of thousands working together.
People who toiled under that scorching desert sun, hauling those massive stones, chiseling those intricate details.
It's mind-boggling when you think about the sheer effort involved.
It really is. And while we may never, know their individual stories, we can catch glimpses of their lives through the archaeological evidence.
Right, like those quarry worker markings we talked about.
Yeah, the Craftsman Gang and all those others, their names etched onto the very stones that became part of these eternal monuments.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that these weren't just, anonymous laborers. They were skilled artisans, part of a complex society, each playing a role in creating something that would outlast them by millennia.
And it really does challenge that traditional view of pyramid construction
Yeah.
as just like solely forced labor.
Right.
We're finding more and more evidence that many workers were skilled, perhaps even paid for their services,
Yeah.
and maybe even motivated by a sense of pride in contributing to such a grand project.
Exactly. It adds another layer to our understanding of ancient Egyptian society. It shows us a more nuanced picture of their workforce and their social structure.
It's a good reminder that history isn't just about, dates and events. It's about the people
Mm.
who lived and breathed and shaped those events.
Yeah.
And speaking of shaping things,
Mhm.
those pyramids, they definitely left their mark on the world.
They did, without a doubt. They've captivated imaginations for centuries, inspiring awe, wonder, and maybe even a touch of envy.
Envy, you mean like, I wish I had a pyramid built for me, envy.
Well, think about it. Who hasn't stood before the Great Pyramid and felt just a twinge of envy, at the sheer audacity of the vision,
Right.
the scale of the achievement?
Okay, yeah, I have to admit, I've totally had that thought. It's like, hey, ancient Egyptians, you you really outdid yourselves here.
Exactly. It speaks to the human spirit, our capacity for innovation, creativity, and maybe even a little bit of showing off.
And that legacy continues to this day. The pyramids aren't just, ancient ruins.
Yeah.
They're symbols of human achievement, reminders of the power of collective effort,
Yeah.
and the enduring allure of mystery.
They continue to inspire us, to challenge us, to make us question, our place in the grand scheme of things. Just as the ancient Egyptians gazed up at the stars, we look to the pyramids, seeking answers, meaning, and perhaps even a connection to something greater than ourselves.
So as we conclude our deep dive into the world of Egyptian pyramids, what's the one key takeaway that you want our listeners to walk away with?
I'd say it's this. The pyramids are more than just, stone and mortar. They're embodiments of human ingenuity, ambition, and that eternal quest to understand our place in the universe.
Beautifully put. And I think it's fitting to end with that image, the pyramids standing tall against that desert sky.
Yeah.
A testament to human endeavor, inviting us to explore, to question, and to never stop marveling at the wonders of the past.
And who knows what secrets they still hold, waiting to be uncovered by future generations of explorers and dreamers.
So to our listeners, I leave you with this final thought. Imagine yourself standing before the Great Pyramid, feeling that weight of history, the immensity of time. What questions would you ask those silent stones?
Ooh, good question.
What stories would you try to uncover? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking those aha moments that make life a journey of discovery.
Until next time.